Hey, welcome back. This is Shah. I got a funny story from a lady who went on a first date with a guy and she had him help her build her furniture, but then something happened and she didn't want to go on a second date with them. So let's find out what happened.
Am I wrong for this? Anytime I tell this story, no one ever agrees with me. But I swear when I think about it, I'm right. So when I first moved to Atlanta, I didn't know anybody and I joined Bumble and matched with this guy, right? We had been talking, I think for like 2 or 3 weeks and I got a good vibe. So anyway, I had asked him if he knew any handy people because I had a lot of like furniture coming into my apartment and I needed help putting it together. Although I did not know him well enough, I trusted him enough to come to my apartment. Now, in hindsight, that was probably a bad idea, but it is what I did. So before he came to my apartment, I had a conversation with him about payment because I didn't want for him to come and I didn't like him and then he felt like he got. So we talked about payment and I told him I'd give him a certain amount for him putting together like 2 pieces of furniture. Well, he put together a bed and a desk. So I don't remember exactly how much we agreed on, but I did say I was going to sell him the money. So when he came over like early the Saturday morning and he ended up like starting right away. He was definitely somebody that I could see myself talking to on the long haul. So it was cool. Like he was we were getting to know each other. We were talking about family. We were talking about life, all this kind of stuff. So around lunchtime, I ordered us something to eat. And as we were eating, we were like really talking, right? It was good. So when he was done, he kind of like chilled for like another couple of hours just to like rest. And we were really vibing and he was like, I would really like to see you again. And I was like, cool. So when he's ready to go, we go outside and he gives me a hug. And then he was like, okay, so I'm going to text you my Zelle information so you can send the payment. And I'm like, okay. In the moment, I was just a little shocked, but I didn't like let it on. I was just like, okay, just text it to me. So the next day I sent the Zelle payment and I was just like, oh, thank you for coming over. I really appreciate it. And then I didn't say anything else. And he was texting me and I did not respond. And he wasn't used to that because obviously we had been like texting all day long, talking throughout the day. It was good at that time. But then I just decided that the fact of him asking me for money after like we had a good day, and I do understand that we agreed upon it, but I just thought it would be different since we were going to start dating. So finally he asked me like, what's up? And I was just like, honestly, I know we decided that I would pay you for that, but I really thought it was tacky that you actually asked me for the money afterwards and you took it. So I did end up cutting it off and we didn't talk again. But when I told my cousin about it, she was like, you guys agreed on it. Like, I don't understand what the problem was. And honestly, like if I'm gonna date you and you put together some furniture for me, you're gonna charge me? I don't know, like what do you guys
think? I really like that story. It's just, I don't know, something about it in the beginning when she says that, okay, she offered to pay him, and what she said was that she offered to do it because she didn't want him coming over and then her not like him and then, something happening there where, he was expecting something and he didn't get anything. But it's funny to me because she probably didn't communicate that with him. So probably in her mind, there's just this deal of, well, if I like him, then I won't have to pay him. And if I don't like him, then, okay, I'll just give him his money and then that's that. But that was probably never communicated to him. When I really think about it, like, I'll admit, okay, like, if I was in that position, it's a weird thing for a first date to go to someone's house and help them build furniture. Like normally I'd want to go get coffee or meet somewhere. I don't want to go to a person's house. Okay, so he went there and he did that. Like deep down, I probably wouldn't charge her, but I think we have to understand like how men think, or I at least can say like how I as a guy might think in that situation. As a guy, like you want a woman to like you, and there's so much out there that tells men like, if you come off too much as a nice guy, then, she's not gonna see you that way. She's not gonna like you. And part of me thinks that this guy probably wouldn't have charged her, but in his mind, you got this conflict of like, should I charge her? Should I not charge her? If I don't charge her, then she might see me as like kind of spineless and that might turn her off. If I do charge her, then what we saw in the video was going to happen. And, there's always that chance that, when you go on a first date with someone, there's a chance you're never going to see them again. And everything might go right. Before you guys leave, they might say everything was good, but really deep down didn't like you. And that's the end of that. So at least in this case, he got paid. On her end of the thing, she's looking at it like, well, if he really liked me or something, then he wouldn't have charged me. But he still did. And I just think that's not very manly or the masculine thing to do. And to me, it's funny because I think the guy did like her because he hit her up a couple of, he obviously ended up probably double texting her or whatever because she was just ignoring him. And then finally she said what the problem was. To me, it's just really hilarious because I kind of wish she would have gave it the chance, because if she did, that guy might have came back and who knows, maybe really spent some money on her, took her out to a really nice dinner or something and say, hey, you know what? You were actually so cool. Like, I appreciate that you paid me and you didn't just use me for this. Let me do some really nice things for you. But that never happened. It's also funny because the comments under her own video pretty much all told her she was wrong. Let's see what those said. So here's the comments under her video. What is wrong with these women? It was your idea to insist on paying him. So he took you up on your offer. I think this one's on you, sis. Here's someone. If you get hired at a job and you and the owner start dating, is he supposed to not pay you at the end of the week because y'all dating now? Okay. Girl, they are cooking you in the comments and you definitely are wrong. So I think everyone kind of agrees she's wrong. She did put out a second video after all these comments. So let's see what she had to say there.
Tough crowd. Y'all are tough. You know, I put that video out there and I asked in the beginning of it, was I wrong? In life, you can do something and be wrong. It's okay. This thing happened 2 years ago and I was reflecting and I put it out there or whatever. You can disagree with me. What is not nice to do is just be mean about how you disagree. I'm not talking about this comment specifically. Some of the comments that I read was so unnecessary. You can say, yes, you were wrong, and this is the reason why. We can have a disagreement without being mean. And I don't understand why there needs to be some mean comments about something that happened in my life that really has no bearing on yours. Knowing himself that he wanted to date me after, because he went home and hit me up after and was like, what's up? Like, what are we doing? How are we going to start dating? And if you have that in your mindset while you're at my house putting together furniture, how can you then ask me for money? But listen, like, y'all can disagree. One of my friends was on there saying it was a transaction.
I think it just goes back to the guy trying to figure out, like, there are just these moments that guys come into kind of contact with in the sort of dating road, you know what I mean? And a guy has to figure out how to breach that sort of first chasm between like just meeting for a date and then getting it to like the next level or whatever, whether that's a kiss or whatever it is. But in this situation, it's not like you're doing something nice for someone putting their furniture together, but you might do that for anybody. But when there's like this potential romantic thing there, then you have to start thinking about like how am I coming off? Like, am I being too nice? Or, I put this furniture together and then I agreed for her to pay me. Then I'm like, oh, well, you don't have to pay me anymore because, I like you. That might come off as even kind of manipulative. You know what I mean? Or she might think he's not, he's just too nice and that might turn her off. So that's the part I think she's missing.
She disagreed with me. Another friend agreed with me. So we can agree to disagree, but we just don't have to be mean about it. I think that's just all I'll say about this. And I'm sure I'm not the only person who has made mistakes during their dating life, because we're all human. And I say things on here about my experiences, whether, me being vulnerable and putting my business out on the internet, whatever, it comes at a cost, right? Because it's not just everyone who's going to be nice about it. But I'm just saying, next time, like, if you're making a comment about something and you disagree, just be nice. You can say I disagree. Just be nice.
I just think it's a funny story overall. I don't think she deserves any mean comments or anything like that. But, at the end of the day, I think the people are right to call her out and tell her that she was wrong for what happened. Like, I can almost understand why she feels that way, but a lot of guys go on first dates and then, you never see the girl again, and or you don't want to come off as too nice, or who knows, maybe it's happened to him in the past. And she said everything else went well. I think she should have at least given him a second chance. Like, okay, you paid him, go on the second date and see how that goes. See if he wants to split dinner now, or see if he actually treats you really well. So again, she admits that it's people make mistakes. And I think maybe there's a little bit part of her that really understands what went wrong there. But I just thought that was a really, really funny dating situation, and I enjoyed watching that. Let me know what you think. Leave a comment down below. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. The channel is now like halfway monetized, so you can leave super chats if you want. If you feel like, hey, I want to send this guy some money. Before you do that, though, I want you to understand, though, that the money you send me will be spent on things for fun, like camera gear. When I go out on dates with ladies, I need money for that. Just other random stuff. I mean, these hot toys in the background, those are like pretty expensive figures. Those don't come free, and other things like that. So hey, yeah, if you want to send a super thanks, that'd be pretty cool. I'm like 700 hours away from getting the ads monetized or whatever. So all the support helps, and we'll see you on the next one.